Greetings, YouTube. Today I've got the setting at 720 because I'm kind of wanting to get a slightly tighter shot. I didn't want quite as much panovision, so we're gonna try what happens. See how this looks. At 1080, the closest I can get is a long shot. Essentially, it's kind of weird. Um, but today I'm going to talk about kind of an epiphany through the lens of anger. All right, so I'll give you a little background on this particular morning I had. I had gone up to the Davisville Flea Market on a Sunday morning, which is the only time the Davisville Flea Market is being held ever. It's only ever held on Sunday mornings. And some of these folks show up at 4 a.m. I usually show up around 8. All right, and I mean that means I'm leaving my house at like 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday. But so I get up there, I do my flea market thing, I find a few things. I got no problem. I have a decent time, and I know I'm gonna be stopping off at least one place on the way home. So I stop at one place, and then I drive by and I see another. So I pull over. I program the number into the address into my GPS, and I take the wrong left-hand turn. Instead of going straight through an intersection and going left, I take the first left I hit, which is onto the highway. So now I'm on the highway, and um, I'm looking at the instructions, and the instructions essentially want me to get off the highway and turn back on, go right back on again. So I take on an exit and go right back on again. I didn't want to do that. So I missed a yard sale. Okay, I can live without miss. I can live with missing a yard sale. So I'm slightly annoyed at myself because I took the wrong turn, and I'm slightly annoyed at myself because I'm missing a yard sale because I'm always out there for the hunt. And when you suffer from anxiety, things can stack. Each individual layer of that stack could very well be an event that you could handle without any difficulty. And if it operates within your cooldown period before the next anxiety event hits, you're good. You're fine. And of course, the key to dealing with anxiety is to shorten that cooldown period as much as possible. But these events hit very close together for me. So they kind of stacked for me. Not horribly, but they did. So I decide, all right, I will get off the next exit and I'm going to head to Concord, New Hampshire. There's a Goodwill there. Fine, so I program Concord, New Hampshire Goodwill into my GPS. Well, I hit my favorites. It's already in my favorites. Every Goodwill in the state of New Hampshire is in my favorite list. And I get to the next turn, and instead of taking the right I meant to take, again, I take the first right I hit instead of going straight and taking the second right. And when I take that first right, now I'm on 93 South. And I don't want to be on 93 South. It's a toll road. I hadn't planned on taking a toll road home. I got money on me. It's not a fresh problem. I just hadn't planned on doing it. So my plan, my forecasting, a problem for those of us who have anxiety, has been ruined essentially. Again, this is a preconceived concept I put in my own head, so this is not something that was imposed externally. And I'm now on the highway, 65 miles an hour, whizzing towards the southern New Hampshire, but I don't know where I am. Now I know I'm on 93 South, but I don't know where I am between any 2 points. So I'm just in this moving bubble, and I don't know where I am. And with these events stacking upon each other in short order, I've now gone into a full-blown anxiety attack. Now, I'm not in physiologically any harm physiologically. I'm not in danger of a heart attack. No, people don't have heart attacks with panic attacks. I know this. Actually, it wasn't even a consideration. I did not concern myself with my physical well-being. I was not concerned with that. But suddenly, I am in this existential panic because I don't know where I am. Doesn't matter that I know what road I'm on. I can't place myself on that road. And the world begins to shrink. When the world begins to shrink, it's a really bad sign that I'm having an anxiety attack on a major scale. Because I'm now feeling the highways are no longer accessible to me. And again, it's the stacking effect. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not thinking clearly. And I'm enraged. I'm enraged. I'm screaming. I am pounding my steering wheel. I am terrifying. If someone were in the front seat of the vehicle with me, they'd be climbing into the back. And I'm screaming. I'm lost. And I don't know what to do. I'm lost and I don't know what to do. Over and over again. Now, lost in this anxiety attack, I cannot perceive that this is essentially a philosophical epiphany. I can't see it at that moment. It's just not going to happen. So I proceed along my way. I head back to the city of Manchester. I do not go to Concord because that would require even more turning around and things like that. So I just go back and I try to go through the city and just hit some yard sales because there's certain main roads in the city I know of that people are more likely to put signs, which will then take me to a yard sale. I think I find one. But then I find a bridge blocked off and it's stacked up even higher. So it was not a good morning. I got home and I was in a really bad state of mind. And in fact, it took me a good 2 days to get myself to the point where I could begin to dissect and unpack the experiences I'd had on that Sunday morning. So I really begin to pull it apart and like, why am I screaming? I'm lost and I don't know what to do. I'm lost and I don't know what to do. And then it occurs to me, I'm not talking about being stuck on 93. I'm not talking about not getting to a thrift shop or yard sale or taking wrong turns. I'm talking about the fact that I was a child in a home of abuse and emotional neglect. And I was lost. And I was unmoored. And I didn't know what to do. Because no child in that circumstances know what to do. No child would be able to process what was happening to them in any manner other than blame themselves. Which of course is not helpful to blame yourself, but you're a child. If the world around you makes no sense, and the only thing that you have any experience with is yourself, your natural inclination is to blame yourself for the things that don't make sense. But it isn't you. If you're in an abusive household, you are not the problem. It is the adults around you that are failing to do their job. It is the abuse of parents. It is the abusive or emotionally neglectful parents. It is the parents that are failing to be the adults, failing to be parental. And suddenly all the emotional pain of that morning was put into perspective. And it sucked, and I don't want to do it again. And I will make every effort to make sure I pay attention to the instructions that my GPS gives me in the future, and not just take the first turn because it looks like it's the right one. Look at the friggin' screen. It's right in front of me. Look at it. But all that was a price worth paying for that insight. And that was important. That was an epiphany through the lens of anger. Because there are times when anger is the exact proper response. And this was one of those times. Even though in retrospect I was terrifying and I was not being healthy and I would have scared the crap out of anyone in the vehicle with me. But that's okay, because none of us asked to be in those positions as a child. Those scary, terrifying positions. We didn't ask for it, so we're not to blame for it. And if I get angry at 51 because I'm just beginning to process that, that's okay. So tell me, what's the most positive experience you've had with anger? So let's turn this around. Let's pull out of this something that we can salvage and learn from and use. Because remember, the past is a book. We can learn from it, but we can never change it. So what can we learn today?